Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I'm sharing with you my diary entry for the week of April 2nd through the 8th. Today is Saturday, April 8th. So, it has been an okay week. I've done a little bit of reading. I've done a little bit of knitting. And as you can see from the thumbnail, not on the thing that I should be knitting on. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for you this week. Nothing too exciting. I'll get into a little bit of what else I've been doing throughout the week as we get towards the end of this episode. So, let me let you know where my reading's at right now. So, this week I finished Through the Grinder. This is volume 2 in the, I always say volume. This is the second book in the Coffeehouse mystery series by Cleo Coyle. This is a cozy mystery series about our manager of this coffee house. She was married to the son of the owner of the coffee shop, and when she got divorced, she stopped managing the coffee shop. And in the first book, she gets asked back from Madame, who is her previous mother-in-law, to come and manage the shop. And so she starts her amateur sleuthing in that book, and she continues in this one. In this particular installment, somebody is killing her customers. And around the same time, she is kind of also entering the dating pool. And so when her new boyfriend gets accused of being the killer, she decides to take it upon herself to look into the crime and figure out who actually is the killer. So I listened to this one completely on audio, even though I did have a physical copy. I mean, it was my lunchtime audio listen, or ear reading, as I've heard recently. I think I heard that one on Will Trent. We've been watching Will Trent, and he had mentioned that he was ear reading. And I'm like, I'm going to use that from now on. Anyway, I was ear reading this one. And for the most part, I enjoyed the narration. However, there was a scene in this book, and I might get a little bit spoilery because I need to tell you why I am feeling the way I'm feeling about this book. But hopefully it won't be too spoilery for you. It's not going to have anything to do with the outcome of this book, but I do need to tell you kind of in detail a particular scene in this book. And again, it has nothing to do with the outcome of what happens or who the killer is. But I do need to tell you some details about what happened in this book to explain my feelings on it. So, like I had mentioned, this book kind of sees our main character, I think her name is Claire. She is entering the dating pool, and she's doing this speed dating thing. And one of the people she meets at the speed dating, as she's like talking to him, she kind of asks him like what his longest relationship was and why they broke up. And he mentioned that he was dating a man. And so she was like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, I was dating a man. And she's like, but you're here looking for a woman? And he's like, yeah. And she basically tells him to pick a team. And that really ticked me off. It ticked me off where I almost DNF'd this book at that point. Like, I was so mad. Like, who are you to tell somebody you just met to pick a team? Not only that, you shouldn't be saying stuff like that in the first place. Now, she didn't come out and say pick a team, but she made reference to something that I'm not familiar with, but she made reference to that in basically telling him to pick a team. And I didn't like that at all. That kind of thing should never have been in this book. It had no impact on how the story went. It had no impact on anything as far as the story goes, besides her being biphobic. And so I dislike that very much. I ended up deciding to go ahead and listen to the rest of this book. But now at the end of this book, even though I thought the mystery aspect was interesting and how the author kind of leads you down a certain road from the get-go of this book and takes you around about, this mystery and kept me guessing as to who the culprit actually was, that point that was made about pick a team has stuck with me since I listened to that part of the book, to the point where I don't think I want to continue with the series. Because if an author is writing stuff like that in their book, that's coming from a place in them that believes that type of thing. And I don't think I want to support an author that believes that. It just makes me think poorly of the author. And so I'm kind of disappointed because I really enjoy the descriptions of all the coffee and kind of the instructional, teachings on how to make a good cup of coffee in these books. There are also recipes in the back of these books. But I can't get behind an author that says nasty things like that, even through their characters, because they shouldn't be saying those things if they didn't believe it, right? And so it's not only made me look poorly on our main character who's going to take us through this series, but also on the author. And it's unfortunate because there was another series of this author's that I wanted to look into. It's more of like a supernatural cozy. But I don't think I even want to dive into that anymore because of what happened here. And so it's very disappointing. I'm very disappointed in the author for putting that kind of thing in her book. I'm very disappointed in the fact that this was published with that kind of message in the book. And yeah. I have 10 of these books. I have 10 of the books from this series. Thankfully, I did not pay full price for any of them. I got them all from secondhand bookstores or library book sales, and I'm just very disappointed. So what I may do is just go and copy down all the recipes from the back, because there are like 5 or 6 recipes. And then probably just give these away because I am not at this point interested in reading something from an author who thinks things like that, or even following this character any further, because that whole scene put her in a bad light for me. Not only that, the way that Claire feels about her new boyfriend seems naive. She wholeheartedly believes that her boyfriend couldn't be the killer, but she's not known him very long. Like, it feels like they've only known each other a couple weeks, maybe a month, if that, by the end of this book. Yet she does things that doesn't make sense. Like, she, from one side of her mouth, says that he could never be the killer. She questions him like pretty severely. It's almost an interrogation at one point, and he takes it because he believes there are things that she needs to know. There's even one point in here where she's talking to him about his previous relationships, where she's like, did you have safe sex? And I'm just like, what? Like, I can see how that would be appropriate for like an in-person relationship, but it's not something that I need to know that's going on in a book. Like, I don't know. I just thought that was weird. I kind of laughed out loud when that whole thing happened. But anyway, she not only asks him stuff like that, but she basically grills him about, if it could be possible that he was the killer. And in fact, she even, while she's at his place, goes snooping in his personal things and, tries to convince herself that he's not. But there are some things that, don't add up for her. But yet she's all like, it can't be him. No, it can't be him. I'm sure it's not him. And I'm just like, are you 12? I don't know. She really got on my nerves. Not only from that one scene, but other things that she did in here. And I just am very irritated. Now, there's definitely something I was kind of looking forward to seeing in this series. And I don't even think I'm really interested in seeing that happen now either. Because, like I said, I am looking poorly upon this character now. And how she acted not only in that scene, but other scenes in this book. And I don't even know that this is like your typical cozy. This is definitely more on the edgier side. You definitely like are witness to the killings, because we do get the point of view of the killer in this one. There is a scene in here regarding a turkey neck. If you've read this series, you know which scene I'm talking about. It's not a turkey neck. But it's definitely a more gruesome than what you normally find in a cozy. So if you're not somebody who, likes to read through the murder scenes, it's not like bloody or gory or anything like that, but you definitely see the murder in progress. And there's allusions to, the outcome of what the body looks like after the killings. But there are like fade to black type sexual scenes in this one. There is that scene regarding the turkey neck, which I can't even tell you what that's about, but it's in regards to a scene that's kind of later in this book. This is definitely more on the grittier side, and it's not your typical cozy. So, I'm not one that is averse to cozy mysteries that have grittier content, because I do read much grittier mysteries and much more gory and, things like that. So that didn't bother me. But Claire as a character bothers me now, and so does the author and her thoughts on sexuality. That really bothered me. So I don't think I'll be continuing with this series. It's very unfortunate, because I know this has been a well-loved series. I know several of my friends really enjoy the series, but I've never heard from one of them about the issues that I had with this. So, I do know that one of my other friends had mentioned to me that they also had an issue with this one. It was Chris from Chris's Corner, and they also DNF'd this book here. And the more I think about it, I hadn't actually decided whether or not I was going to DNF this series, and I'm pretty sure that I am. It's something that's been bothering me since I finished this book. Since that part of the book to the end, and now that I finished it, it's just been something that's been constantly poking at me. And it just bothers me so much that I don't want to have to associate anything with this series or the author anymore. So, yes, I ended up giving this a 2.5. And the mystery was good. I enjoyed the mystery aspect. It was plausible, made perfect sense. The coffee descriptions were great, but as a person, I do not enjoy Claire anymore, nor do I enjoy the author's point of view on certain things. So I will be DNFing this series. So I guess that's good, because I'll be getting rid of 10 books off of my shelf. But like I said, I will be copying down those recipes, because there are some that I want to try. But yeah, pretty disappointing. I'm very disappointed in that, and I wish I had known beforehand that things like that showed up in the series, because I would have DNF'd it before I even read that book. But now I'm just mad. So yeah. The other book that I am reading this week is Shadow Kiss, which is the third book in the Vampire Academy series by Rochelle Mead. I am on page 148, chapter 11. So I'm about here. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good, I would say. Unfortunately, there's no audiobook for this, so I have to read it physically. I did download an ebook copy from my library just because this is pretty heavy, and sometimes I have issues holding things open, especially because I read before bed and in bed, and it's just easier to read on my e-reader. But this is okay so far. Teenage dramatic, things going on. Some miscommunication going on, which I don't enjoy, but I am recognizing some of the things that have happened in the TV show still in this volume. So, again, I said volume, still in this installment. So, yeah, it's okay. I'm leisurely making my way through this one. And so, yeah, I will be continuing with that one over the next week. As far as audiobook goes, because I finished this one this week, next week I will be starting Five Survive. So that is by Holly Jackson, I believe. That was one of the books that was recommended to me for my Aurelium Magical Readathon prompt. And so I did find a copy of that one on audiobook through Cloud Library, which is another resource my second library offers. So I will be downloading that one to listen to over the next week. And then that will leave me with 2 other books plus all of the manga that I need to get through for my Aurelium Magical Readathon. So I'm feeling a little bit stressed just because I have kind of large books that I need to read physically left for the rest of the month. And like I mentioned, I am traveling at the end of the month. And if it's going to be anything like how it was last year when I was traveling, I'm probably not going to read all that much. So we'll see how I do for the rest of the month. Also, because I am traveling over the last couple weeks of the month, I will need to get to the Monochrome Manga Club selections over this next week. So, yeah. Normally, I wouldn't start the Monochrome Manga Club selections until next week, like the week after. So I am reading a week early, but that's just so that I can get those read and film my first impressions video so that I can post that while I'm gone, because otherwise there's not going to be anything up while I'm gone. So I think there'll be one more Disis19 Diaries, and there'll be a couple other videos I'm planning to have while I'm away. But yeah, I meant to tell you all of that at the end of the video, but there's that. There'll also be a vacation vlog, so I will film a little bit while I'm on vacation. So look forward to that. Again, I'm not saying where I'm going because that would give it away. And so, yeah. I hope you will enjoy seeing where I'm going to this time. But yeah, there's been a lot of planning, and we've been, watching a lot of travel guides and things like that, trying to put together our last minute plans and things, and it's been interesting. And that's kind of what I am really interested in doing right now, is watching all of these travel guides and tips videos and things like that. And so it's been fun lately. A little bit stressful, but fun. And I'm looking forward to my last week of work, which will be this coming week, the week that you're watching this. So I will be on vacation after this next week, which will be great. So other than that, I have done a little bit of knitting this week. So this was calling to me, my Advent sweater. So when I talked to you last about this, which was quite a while ago, where's my marker? Here. So I was here. So now I've put in all of this. So that's quite a bit of knitting that I did over this week. I'm just really enjoying this. Like, I keep looking at my books of 2023 blanket, and I'd rather work on this. So that's what I did. This new skein is really, really pretty. So we watched a little bit of Bodies in the Backyard again, or Buried in the Backyard, which is that crime TV show we were watching a bit last year. And so I pulled this out, and I've been working on it, and I've been really enjoying it. So this is what the skein looks like, all wound up. This is day 11, I believe. Yeah, it's day 11. So, yeah. Really enjoying that so far. And pretty happy with how it looks right now. So, yeah. I am still looking for a project to work on should the inspiration hit for me to actually do some knitting while I am on vacation. I have a couple of skeins of self-striping yarn that are ones that I'm looking at. I think would be appropriate for my trip. And so I may pull those out to do something with while I'm away, but I haven't actually decided yet. I kind of need to get on that soon. But yeah, I would love to take this project, but this is a bit bulky to be traveling with. Plus, you know, all of the little mini skeins need to be wound up, and that takes a while, and especially without a Swift, it gets to be a little bit, you know, meddlesome. So I need to find a smaller project to work on while I'm away. I did pull out my sock from last summer, which I still haven't finished, but since I started this one for a different trip, I don't want to continue working on this because it's a different trip. So I am probably going to just start something else, and it's probably going to be a sock since it is self-striping yarn that I have for both of the ones that I'm looking at. And it's just an easy project to take and go because you don't need as much. And both of my self-striping yarns that I'm looking at, I believe, are already wound into a ball. And so I just need to find where it starts and just work off the ball, which is great. It's like the perfect travel project. So yeah, I'll be doing that, putting some final touches on our traveling. And like I said, there will probably be one more Disis19 Diaries entry before I leave, and that should actually go up the day that I leave. But yeah, just a little bit of housekeeping that needs to be done, you know, so that I have stuff that will go up while I'm away, so the channel's not dead while I'm on vacation. But there's definitely not going to be as many videos throughout the week as there normally are, because I won't have my what I've been warming videos, because obviously while I'm away I'm not warming stuff in my home. And I don't know how the travel is going to affect my reading, so there's that as well. But you know, I am looking forward to being on vacation, and not so much looking forward to the plane flight, but I'm managing that. I'm getting a little bit excited, I will not lie. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for you today. Let me know what you've been up to this week. Have you finished any books? If so, did you enjoy what you read, or did you not enjoy what you read? I'd really love to know. Are you participating in the Aurelia Magical Readathon? How are you doing with your prompts on that? I would love to know that as well. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a blue heart emoji, because there's a heart in a box on this cover, and that blue because it makes me sad that people have to talk about stuff like that negatively. Yeah, if you could leave me a blue heart emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated. It would really help me out, and that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.